Many people would have thought American Pie spin-off franchise would have ended with Eric's era. However, just like many other franchises, they didn't know when to stop and continued and made The Book of Love. And let's be honest, this one should never have been made. And I'll tell you why. This film felt like a very watered down version. When you watch Beta House, and I get it, there is some nudity and stuff, and they go over a few scenes in this film, but it just feels watered down. I can't explain it, but it just does. It doesn't feel like I'm watching an American Pie film. Like, the first antic in the film is him fucking a peanut butter sandwich, and then the dog coming over and licking it, and then it gets put on YouTube. Yeah, sound like an American Pie moment, but I'm gonna be honest, I just didn't find that funny. I just think, yeah, the sound of it sounds great and funny. But the difference is when Jim did it in American Pie 1, they hinted at why he was doing it. He weren't just sort of like, with this one, he just sort of looked at the sandwich and went, I'm fucking that sandwich. Whereas with American Pie, it was like a hint of like, oh, the second base or third base, I can't remember what they said, feels like warm apple pie. And then that's where Jim saw the warm apple pie in the kitchen and went, I want to know what it feels like. And so he did. But this, there was no explanation why he just saw a peanut butter jelly sandwich, or sorry, a peanut butter sandwich, and then thought, I'll just fuck that sandwich. It just was a bit weird. Then you obviously had some of the other antics in this film, which was the woman giving him a blowjob and dying halfway through. Again, just didn't have that execution that American Pie was known for. I get what they were trying to do, but you saw it coming a mile away. I think that's part and parcel of it, that even though this was the first time for me watching this film, I saw that scene coming a mile away when they'd introduced the woman. And then obviously you just go on to the Stifler situation, which was just daft anyways. And on Stifler in this film, he is the worst incarnation of that Stifler character, because in all the American Pie films, we've had a version of Stifler. Steven Stifler was American Pie 1 to Reunion, and then since then we've had Matt, which is his brother, in which sort of was similar to Steven Stifler in that sense, but then had a heart and felt that he brought his own different kind of character into there, had a heart and changed his mind in the person he wanted to be, and stopped being a dickhead because he knew that he wanted friends and he wanted a relationship with somebody that he really liked, and he had to kick that Stifler sort of side away. Then you've got people like Dwight and Eric. Eric is like the most unstifler person going, because he wasn't born with the charisma. He wasn't born with chatting to the ladies. He wasn't that ladies' man that the others were. And he also has more Jim antics and feels more closely aligned with Jim than anybody else. But then you go to Dwight, which is like an indifferent kind of Stifler, because he's a bit of a ladies' man and has that charm about him, but it shows more of his drinking side, he's more of the violent side, it shows more of that cool brother side of stuff more than anything else. That is a different Stifler. But when you get to this version of Scott, that is just somebody which does not know what he's fucking doing, because he's trying to impersonate Sean William Scott the best he fucking can whilst having zero personality of his own. And he, instead of trying to get with a woman, it just seems that he's filming, and you know what I mean? It just seems that I just don't get what his intentions are as a Stifler, because most of the time he's just stood back, he says one or two comments, but he rarely gets into anything like that, or you rarely see him leaning into that Stifler side or showing a different kind of his personality to show, okay, he is a Stifler, but he's got this or he's got that. With this, I didn't really see any of that, but do let us know down in the comments down below if you thought that he was a good Stifler, but in my opinion, he's definitely the weakest in the franchise so far. But I also think that the story side of stuff had potential. So that's why I'm a bit disappointed with this film, because if you think about it, it was a good callback to the first film with the Book of Love, or the basically the cheat code to how to get with girls. I think that was a good story. That idea worked, in my opinion, but the execution of it just wasn't crisp and wasn't perfect. And I don't think the story was the problem, to be honest, because they made out that the book got ruined in the fire that Rob caused, and Rob is not a great main character in my opinion, doesn't carry the film at all, and the other two don't really do that either. And so you've got Rob, who literally accidentally sets the library afire. When that happens, that ruins this book, and he finds the book, he's like, oh, it's ruined. Now he's not going to be able to lose his virginity because he hasn't got the book. So then he gets everybody together who made the original book, put it together, whilst also having this distraction of trying to get with this other girl that he really likes. But it just reminds me a lot of American Pie 1, and that's why I take away this as a spin-off and more like they're trying to remake it but in a different way. That's what it feels like, because they really try to move these characters through the same sort of situations, the ups, the downs. Oh, we're not going to do it now. Oh, let's read the book, and then we're back up to the top again. It seemed to go on that ebbs and flow sort of mindset that the original film did, and to me the originality of it wasn't great, but the actual story had a lot of potential, but they just didn't execute it the way it should have been. And I mean, the only thing good that really came out of this film as well is Jennifer Holland, let's be honest. She went to go do Peacemaker while the rest of these games probably did nothing. But do let us know your thoughts down in those comments down below. In my opinion, this is a 5.4 out of 10. Do let us know your thoughts down in those comments down below. And if you haven't yet seen some of our other American Pie movie reviews like Naked Mile and Beta House and some of the original ones, go check those out now. Or if you really want to check out something different, check out our Everything Changed series. And I'll see you fine folks next time. Later.